I have no fear of death. It just means dreaming in silence. A dream that lasts for eternity. Vincent Valaju to Spike Spiegel. Hello everyone, and welcome to the first edition of the Phantom Group segment, Anime Movie Recommendations. In this segment, I will be doing quick reviews and discussions of anime films that I believe are good enough or at least relevant enough for any anime fan, new or old, to check out. I may also occasionally discuss my personal favorite films, and maybe some I really don't like. Now let's begin. For the first episode, I figured we could delve into something somewhat familiar. Today we'll be taking a look at Cowboy Bebop the movie, Knockin' on Heaven's Door. This film is based on the highly acclaimed anime classic of the 1990s, Cowboy Bebop, and takes place at some point in the latter half of the series. Set in the late 21st century, it follows the adventures of a team of bounty hunters who travel space and apprehend vicious criminals. The main characters are as follows. Spike Spiegel, a cool space cowboy with awesome martial arts skills and a mysterious backstory involving affiliation with the Mafia and a tragic romance. Jet Black, a former cop turned bounty hunter who is the heart of the team. Faye Valentine, a con artist who is cryogenically frozen and reawoken to a new time. And Edward, the quirky, crazy hacker who is basically the comic relief. Oh, and there's a little dog as well. The film is essentially a 2-hour-long episode of the TV series. The film begins as a deadly virus is being released on the capital city of Mars by a mysterious terrorist group. To respond to this, the government issues a bounty of 300 million wulongs, the biggest bounty in history, to apprehend those responsible. This naturally catches the attention of our heroes, who go into a deep investigation to find out what's going on. They discover the man behind the attack is a mysterious man named Vincent, who apparently wants revenge for being subjected to various experiments during the Titan War, a major conflict between several planets years before. These experiments drove him to insanity and are the primary motivation for wanting to cause mass genocide. I will delve further into the psychology of this character in another video. In addition to searching for Vincent, Spike and the others must contend with an agent of another party, a femme fatale named Elektra, who is also pursuing Vincent to cover up certain information. It also seems that Elektra has some connection to Vincent as well. The film was directed by Shinichiro Watanabe and actually got a theatrical release in the US in the early 2000s. This show really is a brilliant introduction to the series and captures all the elements that made the show stand out, to varying degrees. The animation is absolutely stunning, and the music is as legendary as the series itself. Cowboy Bebop is heavy in the atmosphere and has a pretty solid story to boot, with some interesting philosophical, societal, and psychological undertones that are explored. As with the series, the characters are all likable and play their part in the mystery. Admittedly, the film does primarily focus on Spike and his interactions with Elektra, as well as his internal comparison between himself and Vincent, because both of them do have tortured pasts. Still, since he is the main character and the most popular, for their only film, this does make sense. The mystery unfolds well and the pacing is very good. It takes its time to slow down and explain certain points and absorb you into the world, but it can speed things up with pretty intense action scenes and some heart-thumping jazz tunes. There are also plenty of little quirky jokes and memorable one-liners. It also has one of the best movie villains in all of anime, and I would argue probably all of Bebop. Some people would argue for Vicious due to his connection with Spike, but honestly, Vincent proves to be an equally powerful threat and probably gets more development, honestly. But I digress. The film works great for fans of the show and as an introduction for newcomers equally. The only real negative is that all the characters except for Spike do kind of get pushed to the side a little bit, though they participate enough to be recognized. Personally, I saw this film before I watched the show, and as a standalone movie with little context about the series, it was still fantastic. After watching it, I was even more interested in checking out Bebop, and honestly, I think the movie is the best piece of the show. Even though it's an episodic standalone story, as much of Bebop is, it gives you the entire Bebop experience in just under 2 hours. It is truly a masterpiece which rivals the show, and I would say, if you're a fan of Bebop, anime, or just cinema in general, please go check it out. Cowboy Bebop easily gets 5 out of 5 stars. Alright guys, those are my thoughts on Cowboy Bebop the movie. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe to the Phantom Group if you haven't already. The mighty Merlin commands it. See you later, space cowboys and cowgirls.